Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fifth Road Tarot. Before I get started, just want to give a few notes on on the reading today. Today, this is the reading for February 2nd, by the way, for the weekly read. Note to people who are new to watching tarot, this is very much a free will situation. This reading will not apply to everyone or resonate with everyone. In my last video, I talked about tarot, and I like tarot as a way of telling a story or finding a new perspective to maybe an old situation or a current situation. So, not necessarily future talk, but sometimes maybe you'll find a path forward for yourself. All right. Again, also, this reading is for the collective. Sometimes this will be a very specific reading, but most of the time it's very general because, yes, this is a reading for the collective. Um, But with that being said, let's get started. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot today. I got a notification from, I believe, one of my horoscope apps. So yes, I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck today, and I may pull in a couple new decks, but I really like using the Archetypes deck to give us a bit of a kind of finalize things. So we'll see how the reading goes and what decks I will use to clarify the message. Okay. I call on all my enlightened and ascended ancestors and ascended masters and teachers to help bring a message for the collective today through me and through these tarot decks and oracle decks that I have on hand. I thank you in advance for your help and support, and thank you for this day. All right, let's get started. Go ahead and shuffle. So, I'm not sure if I may have said something in one of my recent readings about learning more about shamanic principles. I had an experiential workshop a couple of weekends ago that was very eye-opening because it kind of flowed with some of the things that I've been doing just on my own since I was, I don't know, I guess very little. But essentially connecting with nature, connecting with the spirit of nature. And I think I would love to start working on like dream work stuff and tarot and see how that goes. see where that takes my readings and my storytelling and my intuition and all that good stuff. And actually, everyone has intuition. It's not like it really is not a special gift. It's something that we all have. It's very much how we connect with nature and connect with ourselves. Okay, well, let's get started. Spirit, can you please give me 3 cards to get our reading going today? 3 cards. Ooh, wow. 3 cards all at once. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and lay these out. We've got the King of Pentacles. We've got the 6 of Swords. And we have the Magician. These flipped over in this order. So kind of like they came out just like this. So I'm gonna lay them out like this. So give me a minute, and wow, because that was just insanely fast. That 3 cards just flipped over, just like that. So let me take a look really quickly. All right, awesome. Okay, so first up is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is almost exactly what you would think of when you think of, the King of Pentacles, money. Uh, this is someone who is an entrepreneur, a CEO, someone who is very business oriented, so very much an earth energy. You can actually see some of the symbols of the earth signs here. It's a, I believe this is a Taurus card because I see bulls on all sides of the throne. But we're just going to take this as, just earth energy. Because you can see all the vines growing around, like all, it looked like they're going off of him too. So that speaks to someone who in business has like far reaching ability too. So all these vines that are in the cloth are also coming off of him and into, the world around him. And you can see there's a big castle in the background, and he's probably actually on his throne is outside looking, you can see mountains, these blue mountains back here. So, yes, this is the King of Pentacles. This is someone who is in charge of a business. This is someone who is a CEO. This is someone who is, who basically runs things and knows how to make money. Um, Six of Swords. Six of Swords is, um, first off, let's talk about swords. Swords are about communication, thoughts, um, um, ways of thinking, ways of being, mostly ways of thinking. I don't know, ways of being. That's weird. Why would I say that? But as you can see, there's a man pushing a figure, possibly a woman, and a young child on a boat with these swords. Um, you can see here, waters are kind of choppy, but then on the other side, they're very calm. So this is someone that's moving away from um, moving away and making a change with this this new understanding of, the thing that I'm leaving is because I've come to an understanding, because I have decided to make a change, that where I was is not where I would like to be anymore, and I would like to move on. So in this card specifically, with this reading, so in a lot of my and in the last reading that I did last week, talked a little bit about, oh my gosh, I did not want to go down this rabbit hole talking about divine masculine, but in the reading last week, that was very much about divine masculine. But in this card, I see the divine masculine finally kind of linking up with, and this is the story of one person, but the divine masculine finally linking up with the divine internal feminine and the divine inner child, and seeing and saying, you know what, I have myself together now, and I understand what I need to do fully as one person with these three entities, right? um, I understand that I need to move, and I need to leave a situation, or I need to go forward and put my whole self as one person with this one divine family, put my whole self into a new space, into a calmer space. That's how I see it. If I were to read it very specifically, I would read it as um, this King of Pentacles, right? Taking um, themselves and their family away from choppy waters and into calmer waters. But when I look at it as, if you're, a single person and maybe you own a business or want to own a business, or you have this maybe some way that you relate to this King of Pentacles. Maybe you've got a CEO of your company that wants to maybe sell their share of the business and move on to a new, like a new business or a new contract or something. But if I were to read this spiritually, I look at these three individuals as one being in ourselves, right? So we have our inner father, we have our inner mother, and we have our inner child, and they have they have come together as one to finally heal and purchase this boat. All you see is the swords here. You don't see a house, you don't see a car, well, this is their transportation, but this is someone very much leaving almost everything behind to go forward. And because the thing that they left is probably not the healthiest thing. So this is someone who has gathered, I mean, if you think about someone who leaves things, who leaves behind um, their home, um, this is going across the water. So like I imagine, if I were leaving my country to go to another country, I'm leaving everything behind. I'm only taking with me, my just myself. With my, I've finally understood how to parent myself. I finally understood what my inner child needs in order to have this um, amazing experience of life. So, as a person, I'm moving away from what I've known into the unknown, because what I have known is very dangerous. And I understand that I can do better by leaving and moving on. If you look at all this, there's gray here in the sky, the water and the background is all blue. This makes me think that maybe it happened under either on a cloudy day or under the cover of night or early morning, because there's no other ships on the water. So maybe this is something that you do without other people knowing and without telling anyone else. You move forward as you're taking on this new thing, right? Wow. I sometimes I really look at this card a lot and think about it a lot. But yeah, this is about someone taking, their way of being, their thoughts, um, or or getting the message of, I have to move forward. And finally, we have the Magician card, which has come up in readings before. The Magician is someone who has taken, this is the this is the second card in the tarot deck. The first card is the Fool card, which is someone who's going off on their own, which is kind of indicated here in the Six of Swords card. Someone has gone off to a new place and finding that in that new place, they're able to create the life that they want for themselves because they have not only pentacles, but they have clear emotion, as indicated in this unification of these inner parents and this inner child. This person is now independently, as a whole, able to now manifest exactly what they want in their life. If we look at the Pentacles, this is about, we've already started off with the King of Pentacles. So, and of course, we move forward with the Sword already. And this person, even though this is sword energy, look at this. There's a staff in that Six of Wands. This is an unknown action. And here we see it appear here, right? And then that cup is definitely that courage, the water that we've taken in order to get to where we really wanted to go. Because cups indicate emotions. Cups hold water, right? Or wine. I like wine. But yes, cups indicate emotions, water, flowing. This person has moved from one place to another place and taken full responsibility, and they can now see that they can have the life that they want for themselves, and they can do it confidently. They can say, hey, look, I'm creating this thing. I'm using my little wand here to bring this idea now down to earth. And what did we talk about with the King of Pentacles? This is someone who is very much an earth energy. So in this last card, we look up and we say, I've moved myself. I've gotten myself all together. I've made this huge action, and I took this leap of faith to move forward because I know myself internally, because I understand how to parent myself internally as my own mother and my own father and my own inner child. I am now capable of saying to the universe, I am ready for this thing that I want. Please bring it to me. And the universe complies and says, okay, we see your growth. We understand that you are now a full and whole and capable individual. You have gone from this place confidently. You've gone away from a place confidently, and you know that you are able and capable of doing things on your own, independently and autonomously, with the help of the universe, in collaboration with the universe, and with the tools that you've gathered along the way, as either someone who either owns a business or has a business, or this is very much someone who's very good with money, someone who is very this is definitely a businessman. Excuse me, or a business owner. But and we see the same theme throughout is you know we've got the King of Pentacles, the CEO, moving with this total confidence and this action here across, away from choppy waters to calmer waters, with this with these thoughts and understanding that have been gathered in order to create something new and fruitful on their own. This is independence. This is freedom. This is the knowing that you will be okay with everything that you've brought forward with you, and all of your past now makes sense. This is you being on your own, independent, and free to create exactly what you want, because you are the magician. And you see that infinity symbol above your head. That means eternal. That is infinity. So you have found your true self, and you're able to now care for you as a person. And I would really love to see whoever, what are you making from this? This is beautiful. This is a beautiful journey. And I'm really impressed that it's very specific with this King of Pentacles. Wow. So I'm going to take a look at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. So at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands. This is about travel. This is about, this is a message, an early message of travel and action. And you can see there's pyramids in the background here. This is very, very strong passion. Wow. Whatever is happening here, this is about passion. This is about moving and traveling, right? In a way that is driven by passion. Wow. Very cool. All right. Wow, that's very beautiful reading. Let me see. I kind of want to do the archetypes. Let's see, what else do I have? Animal spirit. I talked about my shamanic experiencing journey, and a lot of it had to do with connecting with our animal guides, which was really cool. But I want to get some guidance for you all for the week. So let's see. I'm gonna try. What do I want to do? All right, I'm just gonna try archetypes. I'm gonna try archetypes, and then I'll do animal spirit if we have time. Okay? No. I don't know why spirit is telling me don't put that away. Do both. So, okay, I'm gonna do animal spirit. All right. Gotta listen to spirit when they're talking. So I asked them for their help, and this is why I asked for their help. So let's get it going. All right, this is the Kim Krans's Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle. All right. Spirit, can we get a card for this reading for this person who is moving forward in this magician energy and confidence and passion? What kind of guidance? Well, spider. Nice. All right. We got spider. All right, I'll put that there. This to the side. Okay. Actually, let me set this over here. And now, let me go ahead and pull the archetype card, and we will read both. And we'll see what kind of guidance is available for this magician, for this person who is making this big leap. Oops, stuff just fell everywhere. For this magician who is making this leap, for this spider guidance. All right, Spirit, I'm shuffling cards now. This is Kim Krans's Wild Unknown Archetype cards, which is, I really, really love these cards. Mostly because it's based off of Carl Jung's archetypes, but goes a little bit deeper with the guidance and expanding on some spiritual, not just the archetypes of people, but the archetype of places and locations, things like that. So it's really cool. So let's see. I would really like to know what this magician is creating, but that's up to you all if this resonates with you. All right, Spirit, can we? Okay, that fell out. Okay, I have the Sustainer and the Siren card. That's interesting. Okay. I'm going to put the cards to the side here, find a way to prop these up. Got the siren. Back. Ooh, it's warm. Okay. The siren and the sustainer. So you guys can see those. Okay. Let's get reading. I'm going to read for the spider first. The spider is an earth of the earth element. Here we go. Okay. The spider. Let's take a look at the card. Very colorful. Very, wow, very spiderish. Very, a nice web going on there. In all sorts of places. And spiders right in the middle. Okay. The spider is the creator of prosperity through life's work and dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process oriented rather than results oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. When you are in balance with spider energy, you are appreciative, enthusiastic, and prosperous. When you are out of balance with the spider energy, you are discouraged, tired, and forlorn. To bring into balance, playful creativity. That's awesome. Very cool. So yeah, the spider, when I was reading through this, I was connecting the spider with this King of Pentacles card. And when I talked about how, you can see in the fabric of his robe, the branches seem to reach out of the robe into, the real world, and then they actually become vines and branches. So I see the King of Pentacles also as this spider energy. So this is someone who um, is a creator. And it's this is a person that really doesn't often become impatient and is very creative. Wow. Very cool, spider energy. I love it. I love it. So playful creativity. If you recognize yourself in this King of Pentacles energy, be playful, be creative, have fun, Yeah. Stay with that spider energy. Because I think this is also, I think, related to, this passion that is going to propel you out of a situation. So, playful creativity and passion, I think, will be so amazing for you. Cool. All right. All right. Let's go forward to reading our archetype cards, the Sustainer. If you look at that card, look at the card closely, you can see, there's it looks like some sort of like maybe a bread or something with hands around it, or some clay being molded. And then on either side you have stars glittering brightly. So this might be something maybe in between. I mean, as it's called, the Sustainer. And then we've also got the Siren card, and we can see there's a tail here, a fish tail, which, when we see the siren, we probably think that it's a mermaid tail. And then there's it looks like a ruby egg, a red egg. So that'll be interesting to find out what that is. Okay, let's get to it. First, I'll read the Sustainer. Okay, here we go. The Sustainer. The Sustainer is the peacemaker, the upholder, and the preserver. The Sustainer is the second archetype in the trio of existence. The Sustainer works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The Sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to archive, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It is common for the sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. Wow, that's very interesting because when we talk about the sustainer, someone who longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, this might be that the King of Pentacles has been sustaining this web for so long, and it's time to move forward. But because it's the sustainer, it's a hard energy to move, it seems, which is why it says to take time with this archetype. It is within us all and it needs our love. So if you are finding yourself resonating with this reading, take your time, give yourself love, because I think loving yourself is what brings you, this divine inner father, this divine inner mother, and this divine inner child together. All right, so let's see. When the sustainer is in light, they are abundant, generous, supportive, and reliable. But when they are dark, they are overworked, resentful, trapped, and tired. To go deeper, investigate these three gods and goddesses. Lakshmi, who is, I believe, a goddess of abundance. Vishnu and Demeter, which Demeter, I believe, is a goddess that's the equivalent of Athena, but essentially a goddess of nature. So maybe get out in nature, reconnect with the availability of the resources that you need, right? Okay, so if you're still in the sustainer energy, contemplate what truly sustains you. Make a list. Notice how simple yet powerful these things are and spend some time tending to them. So make a list of the things that sustain you this week and figure out how you can continue to nurture those things for you so that they are there for you. Take note of the difference between maintaining and sustaining. Which action describes your life more accurately? That would be a great thing to journal on this week. All right, so now we'll go to the siren. Let's see, XV, here we go. All right, the siren. Here we go. The temptress, the seducer, the femme fatale. The siren calls and the world spins. Can you see the card there? Okay. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters. And the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, 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 to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option, unless, like Odysseus, we bind our hands to the mast of our ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. Wow. As I read that, I kept thinking of this journey across the water, going from one dry land to another, heeding the siren's call, because we have found our own internal independence and autonomy, which is taking us to this magician energy. And this is where it says, it's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. So in this case, the magician is likely saying, I wish to call my full self here. How amazing is this? Wow. Okay, so when the siren is in light, um, there is awakened sensuality, there is absorption, and there is arousal. When in dark, there is wickedness, adultery, wreckage, betrayal, and insatiability. To go deeper, look at J.W. Waterhouse's nymph paintings, and I will link to those if I can find them uh, in the description below. Um, and also listen to Lana Del Rey's album Ultraviolence. Interesting. I've never heard that album before, so that'll be interesting to look at or listen to. Other iterations of the siren archetype include the nymph, the mermaid, and the fairy. They often come in sets of three, as a trinity of temptation. Embodying the siren archetype requires that we explore things that are taboo. The siren laughs at conventions and constraints. She eats rules. So it sounds like with this siren, moving into this energy of being a whole means that we are probably going to have to break some rules. But in the end, your true self emerges. There's a lot of good energy here. You know what? I'm not even going to say good energy. There's a lot of manifesting energy here. And there's a lot of passion. This is underlying passion. And this seems like a really good week for you all to stay in creative energy. And I will make sure to link all of the things listed here in our guidance cards below. I hope you have a beautiful week. This has been a wonderful reading. Again, I love reading tarot. If you would like a reading, please feel free to reach out, FifthRoadShop@gmail.com. Otherwise, would love to see you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.